Hello everyone. Welcome to the part 2 of reading comprehension. Tips and tricks to solve reading comprehension. This is Dipali Avsekar and with me you will be learning today the tips and the strategies to nail the reading comprehension. In the previous videos we have seen the different categories of passages, the type of questions, what are the content that can come for passage. In this video, we will be learning and understanding the step-by-step guide to solve the reading comprehension. So, as we have seen, for a reading comprehension, there are multiple views, but the most important thing is the view of the author. So, as a candidate, as a student appearing for the recruitment process or the competitive exam, it's essential that you restrict yourself to the information provided in the passage which may be implied. Don't digress from the passage. Do not apply your subject knowledge. You are expected to answer the question based on the author's fundamental knowledge and the passage, not your opinion. Answers, conclusion, or inferences cannot extend outside the premises or information given in the passage. So, whenever you are trying to answer the questions or you are looking for the correct option for the questions that are asking the conclusion and inferences, stick to the passage. However, if you encounter a word from the passage however, if you encounter a word, a sentence from the passage, that is not an inference because inferences are never present in the passage. Conclusion also are not directly present in the passage. So that option is wrong. Okay. The most important and the last point, that is avoid options. Okay. I'm telling you the strategies for solving the answers. That is when you look for the options in the given passage for the questions, you need to avoid those options taking extreme position on an issue. Like the trap words. When I say extreme position means all, everyone, okay, then never, always. Okay, so these are the words which talk about taking an extreme position by the author. Keywords like always, every, only, no, never, must, all indicate the trap word. So, even if due to the paucity of time or lack of time or your speed, you are not able to read the passage, it may be the case that one or two questions, if the time is left, you will be able to answer if you have these keywords known to you. So you can just directly go and check for the options which are having these trap words, eliminate those words. So that is not directly the answer. So what you can do is directly eliminate those, okay, and then find out the questions, the answer from the remaining option. Also, you need to see for the statements, okay, or the options which are having blanket generalization of any issue or situation, extreme position of the examiner against which an aspirant has to take guard. Okay, so after understanding the extreme words, the blanket generalization or the blanket generalization statements, you need to be an active reader. Focus while reading the passage, concentration. Okay, avoid any distraction or diversion. I know that when you are solving the passage, there will be multiple thoughts because when you are solving a passage, you are solving it in an exam environment. So, solving a passage in a free time is different, and solving a passage in an exam environment is different, and in a time constraint manner is different. So, you have to have high concentration, mark the keywords, underline the keywords, read the questions first. Focus on emphasizing words like only, each, in particular, in fact. So these are the trap words. So if at all you encounter these words, just have a look at these. These are the trap words which indicate that the option is wrong. So after you keep this in mind, how do you start with it now? So the first, everyone has different strategy. However, I would like to mention that take quick glimpse of the questions before reading the passage. It's always a good idea. Okay, so most of them go for reading the passages directly and then go for reading the questions, but it's actually time consuming. So if you read the questions first and if you then get back to the answers, okay, and then you retrace the passage, it will be more helpful, because most of the times you may not get the answer. You have to again jump back to the question. Okay, so it's better that you have a quick glimpse of the question before reading the passage. Underline the keywords in a sentence. Okay, if you are having any doubt on a question, or if a word is new to you and if you think that word is important to the author or the author is trying to focus on it, then you need to underline these keywords. And the most important thing is you need to eliminate the wrong options. Okay, so that is one of the most important strategy here. When you're going for reading comprehension, the strategy should not be selecting the right answer, rather it should be eliminating the wrong option. This is I would like to emphasize. So let's solve some RC passages. Okay, so here in on the screen, in order to apply what we have done now, I'll be giving you some passage and there will be a question followed from the passage and you have to answer that. And then I will be giving you the explanation for it. So here is this passage one. I want the audience to read the passage. Now, if you see this passage, okay, I'll read this passage for you. If you thought cybercrime will be the greatest threat to business in the next decade, you could be mistaken. The blockchain, or the distributed digital ledger, which has fathered the cryptocurrency of the world, will possibly be the biggest source of frauds. This is only because business across the world are rushing to invest business in blockchain technology. They do not understand. Blockchain is a technology of future. It was conceived and it is run by few hundred geeks, but unfortunately they have no clue of business solutions or business process. As a result, there is a robust legal framework for its business application, and there will never be one, because technology will always evolve faster than the business process around it. So, this is the passage. It's a passage which belongs to type 1, almost less than 150 to 200 words. So, based on your reading of the passage, which of the following is true about the blockchain? Okay, so you have to identify a true statement about blockchain. So, the option A, blockchain technology offers an opportunity to business like banking to grow exponentially. Second, adoption of blockchain technology by business reflects their ignorance about possible misuse of blockchain in committing frauds. Third option, business need to understand blockchain technology in greater depth before applying it in their business to mitigate the risk associated with this technology. And fourth option, cryptocurrency is the biggest residual benefit that arose from blockchain technology. So, looking at these four options, and reading the passage. Now, here we have read the passage. We have not directly jumped to the question and we are eliminating the options. No, we are not doing that. Okay. So, what are we trying to find out now? If you see this in the first option, there's a word exponentially. Okay. So, it's an extreme word. Uh, there's nothing which has been talked about opportunity to business grow like exponentially. So obviously A is not the option. Then adoption of blockchain technology by business reflects their ignorance about the possible misuse of blockchain in committing frauds. So nowhere the passage talks about the frauds. Okay. Then so it's clearly not the option. Okay. Now I'm using the strategy by elimination, not selection. Now, if I go to the third option, the fourth option, cryptocurrency is the biggest residuary benefit that arose from blockchain technology. So, biggest, extreme, blanket generalization. Nowhere it is being mentioned. Okay. So, if I eliminate A, B, and D, if I then can see which of the following is true about blockchain, business need to understand blockchain technology in greater depth before applying it in their business to mitigate the risk associated with this technology. So if you see, the correct answer is C. And the justification, because the passage highlights the risk that is posted in the blockchain. However, a blanket ban on technology, okay, as been said over here, is not mentioned. So extreme keywords, like it's not mentioned, it's grown exponentially, or it is the biggest residuary benefit. So uh, By looking at the options also, you could have made a guess that without reading the passage, obviously, that C could have been the answer because this big guest, nowhere it is mentioned over here, then exponentially. So, the moral of the story, while I'm explaining you the reading comprehension, is that anybody can solve the passage by, or rather come close to the answer when solving the passage by reading it, obviously. I am here to teach you both, okay, by reading the passage and directly reading the questions. So we'll take a look at one more question now. It's a very short passage, and without reading the passage, we'll try to attempt this question, okay? So which of the following is the most essential message of the passage? Okay, so the option A is air pollution in India has reached alarming levels and requires urgent intervention. Okay. B option is adverse health impacts of air pollution is not getting attention that it requires. Who has flagged the poor quality of air in India in its report? Fourth option, air pollution, unlike public perception, has become a huge problem throughout India, including hinterlands. Okay, so this passage we have not read. Okay, we are directly seeing the answers. Now, if you see in the first option, there is a keyword here, a trap word, urgent intervention. Okay, so urgently देखना है, urgently समझना है. So it's not the thing. Then, second option here, if you see, not is the trap word, okay, is not getting attention that it requires. Okay, if you read the passage, you will be able to relate that it's not true. Then who has flagged the poor quality of air in India in its report? So if you, even if you don't read this 3 4 lines, but you can just come to know that the report from who has been released. So that is not the essential message, obviously. Therefore, we are left with only one option, that is option D. So you can see that air pollution, unlike public perception, has become a huge problem throughout India, including its hinterlands, is the right answer. Okay, so B and C are not the essential message as it is being conveyed. C is more like a fact, and D being more specific captures the essence of the message. So, we have seen that by reading the passage also you'll be able to come to the answer. But if you practice elimination strategy, okay, along by reading with the passage and reading with the passage in speed, you will get a good hold, a good grasp over the passage. Now, there's one more passage, and I would like you all to read this passage and tell me the answer. Okay, so if you see over here again, which of the most is the logical rational inference that can be drawn from the above passage? Now, option A is China doesn't consider India as competition at all. At all. At all is one word, okay, extreme word. So that's not the option. China has set its eyes on topping the US dominance in every aspect of technology. Every aspect. Every is a trap word. So India's performance in technological research leaves a lot to be desired. So a lot. It's a trap word. It's not option. So ultimately we are left with one option. That's D. So the right answer is D. As you can see the justification over here, A is a vague statement, as the option doesn't mention the field in which China doesn't consider India. Option B and C are extraneous, okay, and hence the answer D. So, what I would recommend the students is that you need to rather focus on selecting the answer. You need to focus on rejecting the wrong options, okay. So, at the end of this session, I would like to conclude that you need to develop reading habit, and that can be done by reading the newspapers, okay. Increase your speed, increase your vocabulary, read with pen, and practice as much as you can. So I hope you have got the tips and you will benefit and you will try to apply these tips while solving the reading comprehension. Uh, Thank you, dear audience, for your patient listening. All the best.